In this video lecture, we will learn the conversion properties of the impulse invariant transformation. That is, the analog to digital mapping properties of impulse invariant transformation. The impulse invariant transformation is given by Z is equal to e power s into t, where Z is the digital variable, s is the analog variable, and capital T is the sampling interval. Now, we will take S is equal to sigma plus J times ohm. With this substitution into this mapping, Z is equal to e power sigma plus J ohm times T. Next, we will write the polar form representation of this variable Z, whereby R into e power J omega is equal to e power sigma times t into e power j ohm times t. Now, if we compare the left hand side with the right hand side, the value of R is equal to e power sigma times t, and the digital frequency is omega is equal to analog frequency times the sampling interval. So, this one is the frequency relationship between the two variables, one in analog variable and another one in digital variable. Digital one is omega and analog one is ohm. Now, if we look at this particular polar representation of the digital variable Z, this is the equation of a circle in polar form. That is, there will be a circle with a radius r is equal to e power sigma t and with omega is equal to ohm t. If we draw that one in the z plane, we have a circle, and the radius of this one is sigma times e power sigma times t. Now, in this mapping, we will use first substitute the S is equal to j ohm axis. So, S is equal to j ohm. Here, sigma value is 0. Now, with this substitution, the polar representation of Z is R into e power j omega is equal to sigma value is 0. So, e power 0 times t times e power j ohm t. Now, R into e power j omega is equal to 1 times e power j ohm t. Now, when you compare these two equations, this one reveals that the j ohm axis is mapped onto a circle of radius 1. That is, this is the j ohm axis. This is the sigma value. Now we have considered only this j ohm axis. Now this j ohm axis is mapped onto the unit circle in the z plane. This is the first desirable characteristic of any mapping that will convert from an analog filter to a digital filter. That is, the j ohm axis should exactly map to the unit circle. This is the first one. And the second one is, next we will check whether the left half of the S-plane, the poles which are present in the left half of the S-plane, whether they are mapped to the inside of this unit circle or not. For that one, we will consider one pole which lies here, say S1. So, S1 is equal to sigma 1 plus j omega 1. Now, if we substitute this pole into this mapping, then we will get Z1 is equal to e power sigma 1 times sigma 1 plus j ohm 1 times t. Now again we will express this Z1 in polar form. So R1 e power j omega 1 is equal to e power sigma 1 times t times e power j ohm 1 t. Now, for this pole to lie in the left half of the plane, the sigma value should be less than 0. So, when this sigma 1 value is less than 0, definitely that pole lies in the left half of the S-plane. Now if we check the radius, of the pole, then R1 is equal to e power sigma 1t. Now whenever sigma 1 is less than 0, definitely the R1 is less than 1. So this states that a stable pole is mapped into inside of this unit circle. So this is the second important property of a conversion technique. That is, the stable poles or the left half of the S-plane poles should get mapped to the inside of the unit circle. And with this impulse invariant mapping, we are having the poles which are present in the left half of the S-plane are mapped to the inside of this unit circle. Next, we will check whether the right half of the S-plane poles are mapped to the exterior of the unit circle or not. So for this one, we will consider another pole which is located here. Say S2. So S2 is equal to sigma 2 plus j ohm times 2. Now we will substitute this pole into this mapping, then Z2 is equal to e power sigma 2 plus j ohm 2 times t. Now again we will express this Z2 in polar form, then we are going to get R2 times e power j omega 2 is equal to e power sigma 2 times t times e power j ohm 2 times t. Now for a pole to lie in the right half of the S-plane, the sigma value should be greater than 0. That is, we are considering sigma 2. So sigma 2 should be greater than 0. So with this, the radius is R2 is equal to e power sigma 2 times t. Now, as the pole is in the right half of the S-plane and the condition is sigma 2 greater than 0, whenever sigma 2 is greater than 0, then definitely R2 value is greater than 1. Thereby, a pole in the right half of the S-plane is mapped onto the exterior, this exterior of the unit circle. So the impulse invariant mapping has all the desirable characteristics of a conversion technique. Not only this has got an implicit drawback. That drawback we will discuss in the next video lecture.